Iraq. You know, Iraq been off the spotlight for a long time, and nobody hears what's going on in Iraq. We moved to Syria, and then now Saudi Arabia and their sick prince. They've been accused by killing a journalist. The whole world is turning upside down, and the Saudis been killing thousands of people in Yemen, and behind every crimes in the Middle East, finance, support, dictatorship in Egypt, counter-revolution in Tunisia, Libya, and so there's nothing, good or positive about Saudi Arabia and their roles now of supporting the Zionist project. And now the bin Salman is desperate now, is going to work with major dictators and mass murder like Bashar al-Assad and Netanyahu and Putin. This is all the people who are left for him. And now he's in G20 standing there helpless. Nobody wants to touch him. Nobody wants to look him. He is the elephant in the room. So we're going to talk about our guest, Dr. Sirwan Ismail. He is the chairman of Education Committee in Iraqi Parliament. Believe me, Iraqi has a parliament. Egyptian don't. So things are changing. You know, we need to know what is going on in Iraq, and especially he represents the Kurdish and Kurdistan region in the parliament there in Iraq. It's, Kurdistan has been looking and to have a nation state for a long time. They've been dispersed and on the run in 4, 5, 6, half a dozen countries in Syria, Turkey, Iraq, Iran, and Soviet Union, everywhere. Hey, Dr. Sirwan Abdullah Ismail, he is the chairman of Education Committee and a member of Iraqi Parliament. He is on a visit here in the United States. And he is going to share with us what is going on in Iraq. He represents Kurdistan and the Kurdish people in the parliament. And we know Kurdistan and the Kurdish people have been fighting for independence and nationhood and Syria for years, and not just in Iraq, in Syria, Turkey, Iran, Soviet, everywhere. So, well, welcome in, and welcome to Bilahdan, Dr. Sirwan.
Good to be here.
And we met when you were going to school, right?
Almost 10 years ago, yes.
Right?
Long time.
Where were you studying here?
I was going to St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Actually, I started from grounded, from alphabet. An associate degree, Bachelor of Science in Business, Masters of Art Education at the St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Then I went home to pay back to my community, to serve and to serve the experience that I get, special with the education and the leadership style, management. And so I was appointed as a mayor for my hometown, like a district governor. They call it Qaimqam.
In Kurdistan
in
part.
Kurdistan region, in northern Iraq. So I was mayor for 5 years and managing center city.
So what do mayor do there?
Managing the city, the sub-district cities, plus villages. Like I had more than 50 villages, all they were under my supervision. Doing projects, implementing projects, and supervising and seeing the people's need.
What were their biggest needs during those 5 years?
As you know, during the Iraqi regime, the Kurdistan has been destroyed after the Anfal campaign, and more than 4,500 villages were destroyed, including my town, entire villages. Yeah, so we try to rebuild the country. We pay some like loans or financing, and also plus doing road constructions, water constructions, and also bridge, electricity. We were able to connect all villages with the national electricity, plus
so they have
schools.
Now?
There is Facebook, everything. Yeah, they can see it. They can see it, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. So after 5 years, I say, okay, let me examine myself. Let's see whether I was successful or not. I was running for election. Fortunately, the people, they like my management, my work, and they were so happy, so they supported me. So I got like almost about 20,000 votes. So I became member of Iraqi parliament representing the Kurdistan people in Baghdad. So over there, because my knowledge, my experience, and I was able to take a position of chairman of education committee at the Iraqi House of Representatives.
So how the Iraqi parliament works? You know, how many members, what representation?
Yeah, the Iraqi parliament, it's our term was like 328 members. Like 60% they are Shias, 20% they were Sunnis, and 20% were Kurds.
Oh, it's
And
very different
after
now.
the 2003 and 2005, actually, we wrote the new constitution for Iraq. According to this constitution, they should consider the right for everybody, you know. But unfortunately, the last ministers' cabinet, they violated the constitution. Like more than 50% of the constitution has been violated. This is why
50,
more than 50% of the terms of the Iraqi constitution by the Iraqi prime ministers and also other leaders and political parties.
How would they get away with? How would they do it? Do they
So
have
because
to vote and
when
change the
there is the rule of law is missing, so nobody can get cut. Nobody can. It's here. Even if the president do some mistakes, there is a Supreme Court. There is some agencies, they can stop him. They can tell him, oh, you gotta come to the court. Yes, but back home, no. So whoever in power, which is the majority, they take advantage of their position. That's misusing their position. For example, last year, actually, after, as you know, how the ISIS, they came to Iraq. They tried in 2014. They tried, on June 9th, 2014, when we woke up back home, we realized that we had new neighbor country, the terrorist, the awful terrorist organization within 1,050 kilometers border with Kurdistan region. Then we had to defend ourselves because they took over Mosul, Al-Anbar, Salahuddin, all the northern cities in Iraq. They want to destroy Kurdistan as well. So our brave Peshmerga, with the great leadership led by President Barzani, we were able to defeat the ISIS. But the time we were fighting for 4 years, and we lost more than 2,000 our loved young Peshmergas leaders with and then we were sacrificing, and also we hosted more than 2 million Iraqi displaced people in Kurdistan region, and the Iraqi government closed the gates on us. They closed the gate on Iraqi people, even the Sunni people. They didn't allow them to enter Baghdad. So this is why we got, our president, our government tried to find a different window, different door, different way to help our people.
Is this happening because of corruption or ideology?
No, actually, the ideology, the interference, yes, because, as I said, the majority wanted to impose their power on the entire Iraq like before. So, and we couldn't accept it.
But there's a lot of Shia also that are oppressed and poor, and they are suffering.
Yeah, that is because the corruption. But when you get to the ideology, they want to control the entire Iraq, which they
use
did.
that card.
So what happened? The president, Masoud Barzani, the president of Kurdistan region.
Is he the same one? Like, how long he's been? I heard his name like for
he's
70 years.
Yes, because he's the founding father of Kurdish revolution. His son, and also he's the head of the KDP, which is one of the biggest political parties. They sacrificed like 40 people from his family were executed by the Iraqi regime, like brothers.
And he's popular, his election. So popular. How did he stay in power that long?
Last week he visited Baghdad after all the tragedies. You cannot imagine how all Iraqi leaders, they welcomed him with the red carpet for him, and people are surprised. Adil Abdul Mahdi said he's the great engineer and one of the greatest politicians in the Middle East and in the world. So he's highly respected. So he decided, he brought in all other political parties in Kurdistan. Last year, they decided September 30 to hold the referendum. And we did the referendum, and the result was 93% the Kurdistan people, not just the Kurd, all other minorities who are
Yeah.
living with Kurds, they voted for yes for independence. What happened? The Iraqi government with the PMF, Popular Mobilization Forces, that led by Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Al-Quds forces of Iran, with the Hashd al-Sha'bi, with the Iraqi army, they attacked Kurdistan. They attacked Kirkuk city and also the all disputed areas with the Abrams tanks, with the American weapons. So they tried to destroy Kurdistan totally the way the regime was doing. And but fortunately, the brave Peshmerga were able to stand and to stop them.
Know,
so,
but fighting for years.
Yes.
When you say destroy Kurdistan,
yeah,
politically or
actually physically, politically, everything. But then they couldn't do it. Now, after 1 year, that there was an election going on in Kurdistan as well, in Baghdad. So they changed the prime minister. Now the new prime minister is taking position, and also they are trying to form new government. Hopefully, with the new government, with the new cabinet in Baghdad, we can get more better,
listen to your
better
but
relationships.
You know, in the Arab world, that idea of national, every group wants to have their own state, their own nationality, and they play in the hand of colonial power. They always say that's why we have Kuwait and Saudi and Lebanon, all those things. Well, you know, the idea we're all Arabs, we're all Muslim, whatever, and then we break it down to different countries. Is this some way we accuse this minority of playing in the hand of colonial power, not really a genuine thing to keep the country together?
Yeah, you are talking about the Arab nation. The Arab nation, if they become together, they united, they have only one country. It's okay. We can join them. But why you allow all Arab countries? They have more than 20 countries, but we are 40 million people. You know, a nation with the 40 millions without statehood. As you know, during 1920s when what do you call British colonization? They
draw the border.
Draw the border. They established new countries. They cut the Kurdistan family, the Kurdish family, between four parts, like between Iran, Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. So the reason we are asking, because this is in our blood, not just to control the region, but because we have to have our right, is a matter of the identity. And also we have our own language, our own geography, our own history, our own all the civilization.
So the idea is minority not given rights?
Yes.
Or just you need to have a state and you end up somebody's going to be abusing you anyway?
Both ways. You look to the history, of course. We went through the
bloody history. I'm an
histories.
Egyptian, I have a country, but I have no rights.
Yeah, you see, sometimes
if I'm opposing the government, I have no rights.
Sometimes we blame Salahuddin Ayyubi. I say he did it for Muslim, for Arabs, he didn't for Kurds. But this is why now all these regimes, they are abusing us.
Exactly.
You know, they used chemical weapons against us during 1988. You remember that? And the time all international community was supporting Saddam Hussein. And so, as you look to the Kurdish people, they are pro-Western, they are peaceful people. Look to the when during 2003, when the American-led coalition for remove the Iraqi dictatorship regime from power, the Kurdish people, the Peshmerga, they were the only people they welcomed the American army by flowers. And none of
that's our problem. We don't want to welcome the Americans. Just stay away from us. Let's solve our problem. But the thing is, Kurdistan is not one thing. You have, how they are different in Syria, in the Soviet Union, in Iran. Are they all on the same page?
The same page.
Because one fight the other. Syria fight the one in Turkey. So the leadership of the Kurdish people also, they're not doing a good job.
Actually, it's not their fault. That's in certain point I agree with you. But look to the regimes. They are trying to to bring up, or to make it all the time, plant the
well, they use the sectarian card.
bad seeds among the Kurdish society to destroy the Kurdish society, to make them to be enemy to each other, to fight each other. And also, don't forget they are the worst dictatorship regimes.
Exactly.
Those four regimes, to Iran, Syria, Iraq, Turkey. It's not easy for our poor people to live among them. Otherwise, we love each other. We have a similar language with some differences, the history, the culture, relations. We have a lot of relationship with them.
So how much of this is actually politics? Because most of Arab world, the majority are also oppressed, not just the minority. The majority are oppressed. You have no political rights. You have dictatorship, other theology, or other military. And the majority are not.
So this is why, for example, we are talking about Kurdistan region of Iraq, in northern Iraq. The reason why we went to do referendum, because the central government put sanction on us. They were not able, they were not ready to implement the constitution. For example, the one related to the Article 140, which is related to solve the disputed areas between, and also Kirkuk situation, Kirkuk city, which is the richest soil of north of Iraq.
That's everybody wants to take that.
They, according to the constitution, they're supposed to go ahead and implement that 3 steps, which is reconciliation and do census plus go for referendum. And when we were talking, we were asking about this, they were telling us that this term has been expired. And also, while we were fighting ISIS, they put sanction on us. They didn't pay the salaries or our portion from the budget, from the Iraqi budget to the Kurdistan region, which is 17%. Also, they didn't pay the salary for the Peshmerga, the freedom fighter. You cannot imagine.
So, do you trust the central government to deal with
them? There was huge disconnection and distrust between us and them, because the way, honestly, in Baghdad, the problem, as you mentioned before, not just the Kurds are suffering, the entire Iraqis, including Shias and Sunnis, are suffering because the lack of leadership, because the corruption which is killing the country, and also because the interference of the regional countries.
The Americans spent billions of dollars and devastating millions of people been almost killed there in the whole Arab world since 9/11. What are they doing now in Iraq? What side are they on? Or are they playing each other against each other?
Actually, it's
I don't hear much about what the Americans doing there in Iraq.
It's not easy to understand. During the referendum, as a court, we blamed them. We blamed the American representative in Baghdad and also Brett McGurk, because it was not right after we fought ISIS on behalf of the world, and we were listening to the President of the United States and also all other politicians. They say, okay, Peshmerga are brave people, great people, Kurds are great, and also they closed their eye when the Iranian leaders they attacked Kurdistan with the militia, with the Hashd al-Sha'bi. They attacked Kirkuk and Kurdistan, so with the Abrams tanks. So that was not right things. But now, hopefully, the things are going to the right direction.
Is there a political solution for all of this?
There will be, If the leaders in Baghdad, if they are willing, there will be solution. If they implement the constitutions, they go by constitutions. As a Kurdish people in Kurdistan region of Iraq, we have no problem.
Like a federal government independence? Is that
just implement the constitution. When we wrote the constitution, all these political parties were participating. They agreed with it. So why you are not doing it? Because they don't want Iraq to be stable. Because they will benefit in this way.
I see.
They don't want transparency. But hopefully, with the new cabinet, we can go toward the transparency.
Corrupt politicians, they rather to have crisis. So they strive on crisis and conflict, and they played the sectarian card to stay in power. The Saudis are doing it. We're fighting the Shia and Iran, but they are the most violent state, terrorist state. Violent state and terrorist state are the one who really is causing all of this. And so, Dr. Sarwan, thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure.
I know how hard that is, and enjoy your stay in America.
Thanks.
And that concludes our show with Dr. Sarwan Abdullah Ismail, the chairman of Education Committee in Iraqi Parliament. He's visiting us here, and we wish him well, and we will follow the story, and he'll be coming again. This is not going to go away. So, Assalamu alaikum and God bless.